Are you ready to take your English skills to the next level? Imagine speaking English naturally, just like a native speaker, even if you don't live in an English-speaking country. Sounds too good to be true. Right. Well, it's not. It's entirely possible. And today, I'll show you exactly how to make that dream a reality. Stick with me as I share 5 powerful habits that can transform your English every single day, even if you're busy. Learning a new language, especially English, can feel like an overwhelming challenge at times. We all know the struggle of trying to find the time and motivation to study. Perhaps you're juggling work, family, and personal commitments. Or maybe you feel like you're not making the progress you hoped for. I get it. But here's the truth. You don't need a perfect environment, countless hours of study, or a native speaker constantly by your side to become fluent. All you need are consistent small steps that you can weave into your daily routine. Today, I'm going to show you how easy it can be to fit English practice into your life. No fancy resources, no special environment, just effective, easy to do habits you can start today. Welcome to today's video on improving your English skills. Whether you're a beginner just starting your language journey, or you're already on your way to fluency and want to polish your speaking skills, this video is for you. In the next few minutes, I'll guide you through 5 powerful habits that will help you practice and improve your English every day. Regardless of how busy you are, you don't need to spend hours at a desk, and you don't need a perfect setting. What's most important is the consistency of your practice and the little changes you make in your daily life. If you're someone who's often asked, "How can I speak English more naturally?" or "What's the secret to improving fluency quickly?" then this video is exactly what you've been looking for. The key to becoming fluent is creating habits that integrate English into your life, no matter where you live or how much time you have. The habits I'm sharing today can be adapted into your day-to-day routine, and they work for everyone. Regardless of your skill level, let's dive right into it. So, let's get started with one of the most powerful yet simple techniques to improve your speaking and listening: shadowing. You may have heard of it before, but if not, no worries. I'm about to explain exactly what it is and why it works wonders for learners of all levels. Shadowing is a technique where you listen to someone speak English and immediately repeat what they say, mimicking their rhythm, tone, and pronunciation. It's like being an echo, but the more you do it, the more you'll sound natural when speaking. It might sound a bit strange at first, but trust me, it's one of the most effective ways to train your brain and mouth to work together in English. You'll improve your pronunciation, fluency, and comprehension all at once. The goal isn't to understand every word immediately, but to get used to the sounds, rhythm, and flow of English. The beauty of shadowing is that you don't need to understand everything. You're practicing the process of speaking and listening at the same time. To demonstrate, let's try a quick shadowing exercise together. I'll say a sentence, and I want you to repeat it after me. Ready? Here we go. I want to speak English fluently. Now, your turn. Repeat after me. I want to speak English fluently. How did that feel? It's okay if it felt a little awkward at first. Shadowing can feel strange at the beginning, but the more you practice, the more natural it will feel. Remember, this is about building muscle memory for your mouth and brain. Over time, you'll notice that you speak faster, more clearly, and with more confidence. Now, the big question is, how do you fit all of this practice into your busy life? The good news is, you don't need hours of free time. Whether you're cooking, exercising, commuting, or even cleaning, you can fit in short, effective English practice. All it takes is consistency and making the most of the moments you already have in your day. One of the best ways to practice English every day is by listening. The key here is to expose yourself to English in a way that feels natural and doesn't require extra time. Start with something simple like listening to podcasts, songs, or even YouTube videos in English. You can play them while you're doing everyday activities. For example, when you're walking, cooking, or doing chores around the house. Pop on your favorite English podcast, or listen to English songs. It doesn't matter if you understand every single word. Just let the sounds wash over you and get used to how English sounds in its natural context. You can start small, even 10 to 15 minutes a day will make a huge difference. The more you listen to English, the easier it will become to understand and speak naturally. And the best part, it doesn't need to be complicated. You don't have to dedicate an entire hour of your day to this. Just make English part of your background, whether it's during your morning routine, while you exercise, or even during your commute to work or school. You can also listen to English music or short podcasts that you enjoy. Don't stress about understanding every word at first. Even if you catch only 30% of what's said, that's okay. The important thing is to start listening to real, conversational English, so that you can get a feel for how the language flows. By integrating English listening into your daily routine, you'll start to notice that your brain is absorbing more and more over time. It's like building muscle small. Consistent effort leads to big results. These first two habits, shadowing and daily listening practice, are powerful tools to get you on the path to fluency. You don't need to overwhelm yourself with study sessions that last hours. Instead, focus on consistently adding a little English practice into your life each day. Over time, you'll see a massive difference in how natural your English feels and how quickly you start speaking more confidently. Stay with me as we explore 3 more habits to further accelerate your language learning in the next sections. Think in English. Now that you've been actively listening to English and practicing shadowing, it's time to level up. The next step is arguably one of the most powerful and transformative things you can do: start thinking in English. At first, it might feel unnatural or even a bit frustrating. Why? Because your mind is used to translating everything from your native language into English. But here's the catch: translation slows you down. It creates an unnecessary delay between your thoughts and the words you're trying to say. When you translate, you're essentially putting up a wall between you and the fluency you want to achieve. You want to be able to think and speak instantly, without that hesitation. But how do you make this shift? Start with small, simple thoughts. Here's the key: don't overcomplicate things. It doesn't matter if the thoughts are simple or even a little basic at first. The goal is to train your brain to process English directly, without needing to revert to your native language. For example, start with these small daily thoughts. It's morning. I'm hungry. I need coffee. The sky is blue today. I'm walking to work. These are simple, short sentences. But they're meaningful in that they help your brain begin to associate everyday situations with English. You're not trying to create complex thoughts, but rather just getting your mind accustomed to English as the default language. Start small and gradually increase the complexity of the thoughts as you get more comfortable. The more you practice thinking in English, the less you'll rely on translating in your head. Imagine how much more fluid your English will sound when you don't have to pause to translate every word. You'll start thinking faster in English, and your responses will come more naturally. It might feel a bit awkward at first, but don't let that discourage you. This is how fluency is built. Think about how much time you spend during the day. As you go about your routine, start noticing the small moments where you can think in English. While you're brushing your teeth, you can say to yourself, "I'm brushing my teeth." When you're sitting in traffic, think, "I'm stuck in traffic. It's going to be a long wait." These are small thoughts, but they're crucial for rewiring your brain to think directly in English. Why does this matter? Well, The more you engage with English on a mental level, the faster your language skills will improve. You're creating an internal connection between you and the language, one that will help you speak more confidently, without hesitation. Over time, you'll stop thinking in your native language and start thinking in English naturally. One helpful tip. If you find yourself getting stuck, don't be afraid to use simple sentences. This is your brain's training ground, and the simplicity of these thoughts allows you to focus on the process of thinking in English, rather than on perfection. Another way to practice this is by talking to yourself in English. It might feel a little strange at first, but trust me, it's one of the best ways to improve your speaking fluency. For example, when you're preparing breakfast, you could say aloud, "I'm making breakfast. The eggs are cooking. I need to make some coffee." It doesn't matter if anyone is around to hear you. This practice helps you build a mental connection between English and your daily life. Remember, don't rush the process. Thinking in English is a habit that takes time to develop, and that's okay. The more you commit to this practice, the more natural it will become. And before you know it, you'll be thinking and speaking in English without even realizing it. Read aloud. Now that you've started thinking in English, let's tackle the next step in your English journey, reading aloud. This practice is incredibly valuable for improving your speaking skills, fluency, and pronunciation. It's one of those habits that works wonders, especially if you're someone who is just starting to feel more confident with English. Why is reading aloud so powerful when you read silently? You're practicing in your mind, which is great, but when you read aloud, you're activating your speaking muscles. Your mouth, tongue, and brain have to work together to pronounce the words clearly. And this process is a key part of learning to speak English naturally. Reading aloud helps you improve not just your pronunciation, but your intonation, rhythm, and expression, making you sound much more fluent and confident. Let me explain this further. When you read aloud, you're forcing your brain to process the language and produce sounds at the same time. This is important because speaking and listening are two distinct skills, and by reading aloud, you're working on both simultaneously. You're getting used to the movement of your mouth when forming English words and sentences. You're building muscle memory for how English should feel in your mouth. So, how do you practice reading aloud effectively? Start with texts that are short and simple. This could be anything from a children's book, a beginner-level English story, or even a dialogue from a video or podcast you're familiar with. The key is to choose something you're comfortable with. Don't overwhelm yourself with something too advanced. Here's how to start. 1. Pick a short text. It could be just a few sentences or a short paragraph. 2. Read slowly and clearly. Focus on enunciating every word. Don't rush. The goal is clarity, not speed. 3. Read it again. A little faster. Once you're comfortable, read it again. But try to go a little faster. The idea is to push your comfort zone, but not too much at first. 4. Add expression. Imagine you're an actor performing a scene. How would you say the words with emotion or enthusiasm? Try to vary your tone. Stress certain words, and use your facial expressions. This adds life and energy to your reading, and you'll sound much more natural. Here's a quick exercise. Let's take a simple sentence. I love reading books in English. Start by reading it slowly and clearly, ensuring each word is pronounced perfectly. Now, try reading it again, but this time with more energy, as if you're telling a friend how much you enjoy reading. I love reading books in English. Notice how your tone changes and how the meaning of the sentence feels more dynamic. That's the power of reading aloud with expression. It helps your fluency because you're practicing how English is actually spoken, not just how it's written. Why does this matter? When you read aloud, you're not only improving your pronunciation, but also your confidence. You'll feel more comfortable speaking English in everyday situations because you've already practiced speaking out loud. Plus, it helps with intonation, the rise and fall of your voice when speaking, which is crucial to sounding natural in English. Native speakers don't just speak in a monotone voice. Their speech is full of rhythm and melody. The more you practice reading aloud, the better you'll get at mimicking that natural flow. So, let's recap what we've learned so far. Shadowing helps you improve speaking and listening skills by mimicking the speaker. Thinking in English strengthens your internal connection with the language, making your speech more fluid and faster. Reading aloud develops your speaking muscles, improving your pronunciation and intonation, while also increasing your confidence. Remember, it's all about consistency. Practice these habits every day, even if it's just for a few minutes, and over time, you'll start to notice massive improvements in your English. Keep going, and I promise you'll see results. Integrate English into your daily life. If you want to speak English well, it's crucial to make it a part of your daily life. Studying English in isolation only during designated study sessions won't give you the fluency you need. The key is consistency. You need to bring English into your everyday activities, so it becomes second nature. Imagine speaking English like a native speaker, not just during study sessions, but when you're cooking, driving, or even just relaxing at home. How amazing would it be if English was no longer just something you study, but something you live? This is where integration comes in. By weaving English into your daily life, you'll not only improve your language skills faster, but you'll also build the confidence to speak naturally and effortlessly. Here are some simple but powerful strategies to integrate English into your life, no matter how busy you are. 1. Change your phone settings to English. Your phone is something you check multiple times a day. Why not use that time to learn English? Changing the settings on your phone to English exposes you to new vocabulary constantly. Each time you check the time, send a message, or change the volume, you'll encounter English words. This constant exposure will help you learn words you might not find in a textbook, such as settings, download, airplane mode, brightness, and many others. At first, it might feel a little strange or confusing. You might not understand every word, but that's okay. The more you see these words, the more you'll start to recognize and remember them. Over time, you'll find that you're learning without even trying. It's an easy, passive way to increase your language exposure throughout the day. 2. Write a short diary in English. Every day. Another great way to integrate English into your daily life is by writing a short diary in English. You don't need to write long essays, just jot down a few sentences every day about what happened during your day or how you're feeling. This can be as simple as, "Today I went to work and had a busy day. I'm feeling good today because I finally finished my project. I had lunch with a friend, and we talked about our plans for the weekend." The beauty of this practice is that it helps you start forming sentences in English more naturally. By writing daily, you practice structuring your thoughts in English, which helps with both your writing and speaking skills. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just focus on expressing your ideas, and you'll see improvement over time. Writing in English is also a great way to review vocabulary you've learned and use it in context. It's an excellent method for reinforcing new words, phrases, and grammatical structures. Record a 1-minute voice message every day. If you feel comfortable speaking in English but don't have a partner to practice with, recording yourself is an excellent solution. It might feel a little awkward at first, but recording a short voice message every day is an effective way to build fluency. At the end of your day, take a minute to record yourself talking about what you did what you learned, or how you felt. For example, today was a busy day at work. I finished a project and felt good about it. I tried a new recipe for dinner today. It was delicious. I'm learning a lot of new English words. And I'm excited to use them in conversations. The key here is consistency. Don't worry about making mistakes. This is your personal practice space. Listening to your recordings will also help you become more aware of your pronunciation and grammar, and you'll be able to track your progress over time. 4. Use English in your environment. You don't have to wait until you're sitting down to study to practice English. There are countless ways to bring English into your environment. For instance, you could label items around your house. Write the English names of objects like fridge, window, door on sticky notes, and place them around your house. Each time you use these objects, you'll reinforce your vocabulary. Watch TV shows or movies in English. If you enjoy watching TV, try switching the audio or subtitles to English. This helps you connect spoken and written words and exposes you to different accents and speaking styles. Follow social media accounts in English. Follow accounts that post content in English, such as news outlets, influencers, or pages about topics you're passionate about. This will immerse you in the language and keep you engaged with it daily. The goal here is to surround yourself with English so that it becomes a part of your everyday experience. The more you hear, read, and use English in real-life situations, the more natural it will become. Now that you have these powerful habits to help you improve your English every day, it's time to put them into action. I challenge you to commit to these small habits for the next week. Try listening to English every day, practicing shadowing, thinking in English, and integrating English into your life with the methods we just discussed. Let's start making English a natural part of your daily routine. I'd love to hear how it goes. Leave a comment below and let me know which habit you're excited to start with, or any other tips you have for practicing English in daily life. Let's keep the conversation going and support each other on this journey. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more tips and strategies on improving your English. I'm here to help you every step of the way. Let's continue this journey together. And remember, small, consistent actions lead to big results. Stay motivated, and I'll see you in the next video.